You are sitting across from someone in a high-stakes conversation. The silence stretches out. The resulting discomfort leads you to start talking just to fill the dead air. You ramble, you over-explain, and before you know it, you say something you immediately regret. Many of us use words to seek validation and prove we belong. However, the individual fighting the hardest to keep the conversation going is almost always the weakest person in the room. This dynamic is reversible. Today, we are going to walk through a specific psychological technique that short-circuits nervous anxiety and turns silence into an active weapon. This approach is rooted in Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, specifically Law Number 4, always say less than necessary. Commanding respect in a negotiation begins with controlling your own urge to speak. Mastering this specific behavioral drill is the prerequisite for professional or personal authority. To apply Law 4, you must treat your words like currency. The laws of supply and demand dictate that when rare, they hold value. Printed endlessly, they become worthless. Offering unprompted opinions floods the market, guaranteeing people stop paying attention. The most influential figures in history rarely give exhaustive explanations. They rely instead on short, carefully chosen, and often ambiguous statements. This restraint forces the listener to lean in. They assign massive weight to the few sentences that are actually delivered, and the room stops to listen. Restricting the supply of your ideas artificially inflates their demand and authority. To execute this, you must learn to create the void. This involves answering a prompt as briefly as possible and abruptly stopping all speech. Human beings are biologically conditioned to fear this vacuum. When the rhythm of a conversation stops, our brains register the silence as a social threat. Imposing this void on an opponent creates a spike in anxiety. They will almost always panic and rush to restart the dialogue to alleviate the tension. In this scramble, people drop their guard. They reveal information they meant to keep hidden, and frequently start negotiating against their own initial positions. You will feel the exact same pressure to relieve the awkwardness. Resisting the urge to soften your stance or walk back your answer is the only way to maintain the vacuum. Once words leave your mouth, they can never be retrieved. Remaining completely silent puts you in an unassailable defensive posture because unsaid words cannot be weaponized against you. Surviving that tension requires strict physical discipline. You need a concrete mechanism to get through the dead air without cracking. When the other person finishes speaking, do not react. Maintain unbroken eye contact and hold a completely unreadable, neutral facial expression. Use a mental stopwatch to manage the silence. Instead of replying immediately, look them in the eye and slowly count down from 3. Hitting 0 demonstrates a lack of neediness, systematically fracturing an opponent's composure before you open your mouth. Do not break the spell by looking at the floor or trying to use complex vocabulary to impress the room. Give short, direct answers. If you execute this correctly, the other person will rarely let you finish the count. They will jump in to fill the silence before you reach 0, handing you the leverage. Combining absolute physical stillness with this mental 3-second count provides the precise mechanical formula for projecting dominance. By mastering these pauses, you dictate the timing and rhythm of the entire interaction. Discipline and restraint determine who holds power in a room, regardless of who talks the loudest. If you found value in this framework, hit the like button and subscribe to Improve Mind and Body for more actionable psychological strategies. Now that you know how to wield silence, the next step is learning how to mask your long-term goals. Click the video on your screen right now to watch our breakdown of Law Number 3, Conceal Your Intentions.